I hope you can catch up, Sha, because I've not seen gone far. So we have a valid order block here. There was another block here I did not mark. Valid. This one too is valid because there is a small gap here. In case you be scared that how will I get a valid order block? I can say most of these order block are valid. It's just that price never came back to those order block, right? And there's a way you could have catch this trade on a lower time frame. If you go to a lower time frame now, they say another block here. Once we refine it, it's 30 minutes, and this 30 minutes is clarity to 1 hour. What you could have seen on the 1 hour time frame. This was where price mitigated this order block, and this was an inducement liquidity. Sorry, so it was valid. Mm-hmm. You may remember, let me just take your mind back. When I was marking out structure, I explained something about price sweeping the eye, that price always sweep liquidity. Price does not move in a zigzag format. That is why we are having this eye being swept. We are having this eye being swept. I can show you, and let me briefly mark up the valid listing. I'll quickly show you an example of, this is not valid. These are liquidity. This is not valid to me because there is no imbalance. This one is valid because there is imbalance. Now, why is it not valid? Because price swept all this high. Took it as liquidity. This one here, to me, it's not valid. It's valid because one, there's liquidity sitting below. This week is valid because these are liquidity sitting below. Price can still sweep it and come there. So what validates your order block is liquidity. There's either inducement liquidity or gap. It means your zone is valid. This one too is valid. Why is it valid? Because there's a gap here. Is this one valid? Yes, it's valid because there's gap here. There's a gap here. There's another block here. I did not mark. Sorry. Here's another block I never marked. What validates your order block is if there's available liquidity to be swept. Again, what validates your order block is if there's available liquidity to be swept, either internal range liquidity or external range liquidity. Look at this. There was an order block I did not see, but price respected the order block, and that's why you see this massive sell. I was expecting this zone, but price will still come there. There's another block here, and we have imbalance, which is this gap here, right? And that is why this sell happened here. Let's go to 15-minute time frame. Let me show you something. You'll see that the gap is very, very clear. I can see the other block and we have this gap. So if I saw this earlier, I'll take this trade. With this, you have your 1:3 already. So we just need to be taking everything step by step. So once with this now, 1:3 has been taken already. Now, this particular setup, if I'm to refine this entry, because let's assume I'm taking this from 1 hour. That's why it's good to take entry on a lower time frame. I'm having 1:3. But if I'm to refine my entry, look at this other block here, and there's a gap here, and there's another gap here. So this zone is still valid. And if I'm to refine my entry on 15-minute time frame, my stop loss is fine. Let's assume I take profit here. It means I'll be expecting to take 1:5. So let's take everything gradually. So if you have any question, you can ask your question. Let's now talk about liquidity. All right. Before we talk about liquidity, let me quickly share my screen. We've talked about order blocks, inefficiency, and we are going to the next lesson, which is liquidity. But before then, let me briefly show you an example of something on, how will I call it? Okay, let me go to volatility 10. I have a setup here. This 10-1S. This volatility 101S. I don't have any trade now. I'm still watching. This volatility 10. Let me
Your
zoom.
screen is not showing now. I'm busy from me.
I've not shared my screen, sorry.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Okay, yes, you can see, I can see now.
Can you see price in a downward direction, right? I just want to explain something to you about price breaking structure to the downward side.
Okay.
Can you see price creating higher high and higher low, breaking structure to the downward side? Let me start from here. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Break of structure. Now, normally this is just like a revision to the previous class. This is what price is doing, right? This is how we expect price to move, right?
Yes.
Price doesn't move without sweeping liquidity. By default, this is how price move. Sorry, let me use something you can see. Or let me change the color. By default, this is how price move. Sweep, come down, sweep, come down, sweep, and come down again. So this is how price move. That is why you are seeing price is breaking structure to the downward side, yet sweeping liquidity. Breaking structure to the downward side, sweeping liquidity. Are you seeing it? Let me use line charts so that you can see. Can you see it? This is what I'm having here. Break off.
Watch the video. The
Yes,
video again.
yes, I will drop the recording for all the classes we have today. I'll drop all the recording. Sorry, network took me out. So this was what I was doing. Let me delete this and mark it again. Let me zoom this screen. Let me mark this from the beginning. So I switched to a line chart so that I'll be able to have clarity. We have break of structure, 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 break of structure. So let me switch back to let me sorry, I was not seeing clearly with the line charts. You see, all this break of structure you are seeing, each and every one of them has been sweep of liquidity. So you don't just think that price is moving in zigzag pattern without sweeping liquidity. There are times price will not sweep liquidity, right? But price always sweep liquidity. So have at the back of your mind or front of your mind that price sweep liquidity. So let me show you clearly. So we had a break of structure. Before price break structure, it swept liquidity, break of structure. Before price break another structure, swept liquidity. Before price break another structure, swept liquidity. Before price break structure downward, we have liquidity sweep. Let me go to 1 hour time frame. So it has been like that. Liquidity sweep, break of structure, liquidity sweep, break of structure. So now look at my POI, and this is on 1 hour time frame, and I have my FVG here. I have inducement liquidity. So I'm not taking trade now until price come here. Until price come here. Then I now look for a change of character. Then enter my position down again. Then I can hold position 2 for a long time. So let's now identify liquidity. Let's talk about liquidity. Should I use synthetic or go back to currency pair? Let me go back to currency pair. Are we together?
Yes, coach. But maybe if you do some for currency pair, you do some for synthetic.
Okay. So since I've already marked out my okay, let me do something here. Let me mark out valid order block here. Then I will be able to use synthetic to identify liquidity. Now, now give you an assignment on that NZUSD to identify liquidity. We've already mark up our chart on NZUSD. So your assignment on that particular one now, first assignment is to identify liquidity. Sorry, this assignment is to identify order block and inefficiency and also identify liquidity. So on this one now, I'm going to I may possibly drop the last link to crown everything up so that we finish lesson on 2, 3, and 4 to liquidity. So our next class will be supply and demand. Then we'll now talk about in premium and discount zone, how to take trade in our premium and discount zone. So now, here's I've already marked up the chart is to identify FVG and order block on this asset. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to use ash color. Here was a valid order block. It has inefficiency, right? I'm focusing on the selling because we are in a solid selling opportunity. So I'm just focusing on this. So we have okay. This is on volatility and I'm using 1 hour time frame. We have valid order block. This is my order block here. You see how price tap into it. Then I have my inefficiency. I'm using this green color as inefficiency. So let's come down again to identify a valid order block. Here is a valid order block, right? That has inefficiency. Price reversal. Price reverse and tap it to the other block. Do I have a valid order block again? Yes, if an order block. Here's another order block. The last buy or sell candle that led to the break of structure. Here's a valid order block. Let me reduce this. And see price tap to this because liquidity was taken. There was available of liquidity, which made this valid. In fair value gap and either inducement liquidity, make your zone valid. We have valid order block here because liquidity was here. We have our balance here. Do you have any valid order block? Yes, we do. Here's another valid order block. Sorry, let me identify the imbalance first. And our order block above. price tap into this other block, as price reverse tap into it and sold downward to the and broke structure. Do I have other block again? Yes. This week is another block, and below it are liquidity. Do I have other block? Yes, we have other block. And this other block is valid because there's imbalance. So I'm copying Control Z. Let me just mark it out. This is valid because it has an imbalance and has liquidity sweep, right? Because price take this high as liquidity sweep and price tap into it and sold down. Do I have a valid order block?
Yeah.
Yes, we have this valid order block because there's imbalance. So this order block is valid, but price never tap into it. But once we go to a lower time frame, there's another block here. That is why price reverse back. So we have less than 9 minutes. We have this valid order block. The other block was not valid. Was it valid? Not valid. Here's the valid order block. That created imbalance. And you see price respected this, swept this as liquidity. We'll still come to that and tap into it and sold down. Here's another valid order block. Our FVG. This week is another block. And we have this FVG. Price respected this one. All this previous small high was taken as liquidity. Where's our other block? Let me mark out the FVG first. And we have this other block. So when it's come to entry, I will still show you using volatility and here's another block. Let me mark this week as another block. We have this other block here. And the reason why price respected this other block is because everything here are liquidity. So we'll talk about liquidity later. Everything here are liquidity. Let me use dollar sign. Wait, shit. What am I doing? Right. And price also swept this particular high as inducement liquidity. That is why this other block was valid. So now, what I'm doing now is waiting patiently for price to tap to my zone. This other block is still valid. Why is it still valid? Because if price starts coming down, this other block has been respected already. That is why price sold down. I have fair value gap. So I'm expecting price to retrace back. This is actually a pullback phase. There's a buying order block here. If you see me using purple as my order block, I'm trying to differentiate between supply and demand. So after liquidity, I think that will be the next topic. For buying is my demand. For selling, I use ash as my supply. So now, this is how you look for trade. OZ, and favor. I have my lower high and lower low. Look at what I did. I mark it out. It means I'm focusing to trade within this zone. If I go to 15-minute time frame, I'll be looking for entry within this high and low. And my focus is looking to sell. So just have that at the front of your mind. If I say put it at the back of your mind, you'll forget. So any question before we proceed to liquidity?
It's not really related though, but I don't know if you answer it, sure.
Yeah, just ask me.
Okay, you just marked out a demand zone on the charts.
Yeah.
So my question is if somebody wants to buy up, that means it's a counter trend, right? And
Yes.
someone needs to see a change of character before the person buys up, right?
Yes. Let me briefly do an example. Show you guys something.
Yeah, I just want to ask, like, what time frame is the change of character valid to take from? Is it 1 hour, 6 days, or 5 days?
Yeah. Once you mark out your chart on 1 hour or 4 hour, your change of character should be on 15 minutes. Price is selling. Generally, it has been on a selling, despite that it has been buying up. So if I'm to look for a change of character issue, it's going to be on a lower time frame. That is, higher time frame is bullish, is bearish. The lower time frame must be bullish. I must wait until the lower time frame turns bearish before I take my trade. That is, I'll be expecting something like this. Now, this is what I do most time. Let me pull out my Fibonacci tool. I don't want to confuse you. That is why I'm taking everything step by step. This is my Fibonacci tool. From high to low. Then I'll mark my 50%. Price has not even up to my 50%. That is why I'm not doing anything. So what I do most time is in my 50%, because price can reverse at any point if liquidity has been grabbed. Let me use hash color because this is my supply zone. This is me telling you what we are going to do in the future, right?
Okay.
This week here is an order block, which is my supply zone, because everything here, as price is coming, price is going to take everything here as liquidity. So let me use dollar sign, right? So these are the zone I'm looking forward to take it from. Price come here. If I do not see a change of character, I'm coming. Let me draw the change of character very well. I'm not taking the trade. Let's assume price does something like this. I'll need to see price sweeping this low. And once price sweep this low and price, I'll look for a small supply zone here, order block there, and enter. Then I take profit with the here. If it doesn't happen here, I'll now wait for price to come to this second POI to sweep this low. That is price coming from here now. Do a change of character. Sweep this low. Then I'll look for a new order block on a lower time frame. Let's say 15 minutes. I'll now enter from there. Let me go to 15 minutes. So this is on 15 minutes now. If price don't give me a change of character, I won't enter. And if price give me a change of character after we have liquidity sweep, I'll now enter from here. set my limits, or instant market execution. So most of my trade is what I do. My first take profit will be the 50% of the Fibonacci level, and my overall take profit will be 1:10. This is how you cash trade. So your game in this business is patience. So you don't need to rush. So we have two POI here. Even on 15 minutes, once you go to 15 minutes, there's other demand, other block you will still identify. Any other block price come to on your 15 minutes, always wait for, here's another block here. Any of this other block, here's another block here. Any of this other block price come to, always wait for a change of character. Now, this particular trade now, price can come to this zone. There's another block here, right? There's another block here on a 15-minute time frame.